Work now. All right. Hmm. Hey, David. David,
Yes, sir.
will you tell me if I have sound in this next thing here?
Sure.
Hearing sound?
Yeah. 2001.
Okay. All right, I'm going to try it. Here we go. Share screen. Oh, there it is.
Very
Hello.
good.
Well done.
It worked. Hello, dear Dharma friends. You're back. How wonderfully familiar. To quote, oh, my brain isn't quite working yet. Come on, mind. To quote Ruth King, if you didn't belong to me, I wouldn't be here. If I didn't belong to you, you would not have come. My heart and your heart are very old friends. If you didn't belong to me, I wouldn't be here. If I didn't belong to you, you would not have come. My heart and your heart are very old friends. The more I speak this and think of it, the more comforting it is. If you didn't belong to me, I wouldn't be here. If I didn't belong to you, you would not have come. My heart and your heart are very old friends. And one thing we share is a common understanding of a map. There actually is a map. Imagine that. We don't have to make it up. We just have to follow it to the best of our ability. I had the blessed opportunity to sit with 23 people for 5 days and to sit and talk to them in person. We had trouble finding the spot. I kept moving around each day, but that was a small issue. And to watch them as they walked the map, as they walked their life in waking up. Fingers are a little bit awkward this morning. I take refuge in the Buddha, the one who shows me the way in this life. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya. I take refuge in the Dharma, the way of understanding and love. Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya. I take refuge in the Sangha, the community of mindful harmony. Namo Sangaya, Namo Sangaya, Namo Sangaya. Well, it looks like things are working. I was a little afraid I might not get it to all function this morning, but it worked just fine. So did the heart, the breathing, the ability to walk out here to my beautiful little shed. Somewhat chaotic. Needs a bit of cleaning up. I have news from the world, at least a part of the world, north of us, among the Canadians. There are many beings who are dedicated to the light, who are doing their work, who are sharing with their children and grandchildren and friends that love really is the answer. Love and inclusion. I spent 2 nights and a whole day with Paige Freeborn and Adrian Dick, who are friends of ours, Dharma friends, They were part of the teacher training I did several years ago. There are probably no more consummate teachers anywhere on the planet. They work at Brockton School. And it's an amazing place that they and others have created where there's respect for all differences, respect for different learning styles and cultural history and racial configuration, and they do a lot of their work through music and community. Good morning, Sherry. You're in a familiar place. And so let's sit, my friends. There was a time when Siddhartha Gautama, having had many adventures, took himself to the foot of the Bodhi tree and made a vow that he would sit there or die, sit there and awaken. And it was the end of Siddhartha Gautama, and we had then the Buddha. So let us take our seat right now under the Bodhi tree, wherever we are. Pardon this intrusion here for a moment. There we go.
Recording in progress.
Take our seat. Why wait? Why wait till tomorrow to wake up? Why wait till this afternoon? Why not right now really, really come home to the body? To plummet into the body, to enter the aliveness, which is contact with the chair or the cushion or the floor. To feel the aliveness in hands and fingers. To know the aliveness in the face. And to embrace the truth of breathing. Where there is breathing in and breathing out. Of course, there are other phenomena that occur inside. There may be thoughts. There might be a prevailing mood. The mind might feel heavy and thick or light and springy, easily focused or lost in blur or confusion. There might be waves of the wandering mind. We don't have to change any of it. Simply to notice it, to be awake. To practice our remarkable humanness, our conscious humanness, using each breath as a home base. This moment is like this. This breath is like this. These hands, or this that we take to be hands, is like this, exactly as it is. Time and again, or perhaps just this time, notice the mystery of how awareness arises in the midst of a wandering mind. There is that which knows mind, which knows in-breathing and out-breathing. Each breath really does have a beginning. It has a rising to fullness, a decline, and then a vanishing. Resting here now in the body in contact with the chair. The pressure in the buttocks, in the back. The feeling of clothing in the arms, on the arms. And all the life that is the hands. the 5 hindrances may put in an appearance. The mind could be wanting something, dissatisfied with the present moment, disliking something, dissatisfied with the present moment. Or it could be lost in restlessness and agitation, anxiety, remorse. It could be languishing in sloth and torpor. It could be fatigue. Sometimes fatigue becomes a powerful companion, particularly when we're sick or when life is stressful. Or doubt can arise. Doubt, the practice killer. Of course, the 7 enlightenment factors may equally well be present, starting with mindfulness, concentration, curiosity. And so stopping the words now, present with this breathing, breathing in and breathing out. What do I do when the pain gets so great? Turn toward it. Move closer and closer and closer until there's no one experiencing pain. There's just unpleasant sensations. What do I do when there's joy? Go closer and closer to it. Until there's no longer joy, there's just being. This is the practice of going closer, of embracing life on its own terms. The life of this moment right now. There's so much that we share. We share birth, sickness, old age, decay, and death. We share lives that are a mixture of success and failure, praise and blame, health and sickness, security and insecurity. So we practice to stabilize the mind and the heart, to become loving of this person we take ourselves to be. And also include each other. That's where being together comes in this way, and also personally, interpersonally. And it's not a big leap to imagine each other in need of comfort, or to have someone to celebrate with, to have a shoulder to lean on in times of challenge. We are all in this together. And we might use words, may you be happy, may you be free from fear and danger, may you live with ease and grace, may you be liberated. We can even use those words or something like them in such a way that they become a powerful concentration object. And we could then call to mind a loved one or a group of loved ones, wish them well. We're all in this together. Expanding to friends. Pick a friend. Love bomb them. Just come into their life right now quietly and hold them deliciously in your heart. Think of another friend, or perhaps some more distant person, someone who's sort of neutral. And then maybe someone there's still some cherishing of resentment for in the mind. Eventually, we discover that there's love for everyone and everything. Loving everyone doesn't mean we don't hold anybody responsible. Doesn't mean we don't take a stand on social issues. It means that we learn to do this with less and less rancor. It means we see through the costuming of personalities. And coming now to notice the body where it sits and touches the chair. Contact. And the life in the hands and the life in the face. The lips, the cheeks, the eyes. And then, when you're ready, notice the reality of eyes and that it's possible to form an intention of letting them open. And then there's seeing. The mystery of seeing. Seeing. As you may know, I am freshly back from a retreat at Hollyhock. Hollyhock is a beautiful retreat center situated on an island. It's an island in Desolation Sound, and it was called Desolation because Captain Vancouver was desolate. He couldn't get through. The currents were too great. There are 8 to 10 knot currents in huge bodies of water there. It's quite a pilgrimage. If you're in a car, you go from here north, and then you take one ferry to Vancouver Island, and then you drive a while, and then there's another ferry, and then there's another ferry. And when you get off the second ferry at Cortes Island, this sign is above you on the hillside. I was quite touched by it. We're all in this together. And so it is. We are all in this together. And if we dare, we can recognize how we belong to each other, how we are profoundly interconnected. Maybe close this photo. Quit. So I think that's what I want to say. Maybe hello to Jill in Whitehorse, long time no see. Actually, I think I have one more picture I want to show you. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Looking good, looking positive. That's not it. Here it is. I was sent this picture. It's from the ferry. After Hollyhock, people disperse, right? And they take different ferries. And this is a very remarkable picture, I think. Look at that. Dharma buddies. We sure need each other, don't we? So, what's up with you? What have you discovered? What are the joys and sorrows of this moment? I'm thinking I have sound. I haven't checked it yet. Jim, would you say? Jim, would you say something so I can hear? If
Sure.
I'm good.
Morning, Robert. Good to see you again.
Good to be here. I have sound, so I'm going to invite you to share what's happening for you if you wish. Right? Questions?
Hey, Robert.
It's Kat.
It is. Who looks like a baby chicken. I need to fix my hair before I go to work.
You have very wild hair this morning.
I do. It's intense. I'm leaving for work as we speak, but I wanted to share after the retreat, which was a miracle in my life. It was magical. And I also, even sit down to talk. Wanted to thank so many members of the Sangha for reaching out and helping me feel good about it going in. And it was incredible. But I'm seeing the fruits of it very much in action. Yesterday, and I know I told you this, Robert, but yesterday I picked up my dog getting spayed and found out she has heartworm, which can be potentially fatal. The treatment is very painful and involves crate rest for she's not the most active dog I've seen, but she loves to run around. And it's a scary and big and very expensive diagnosis. And my first feelings and thoughts which is really wild, was, okay, this is the Four Noble Truths in action. Like this is what is happening right now. And it was, pardon my language, but it was fucking wild. I mean, that's wild for someone who has historically been labeled with chronic anxiety and panic attacks. To be like, okay, this is the information I have at this moment. And I can choose to go into spinning out, or I can choose to be here with my dog, and we'll find out more when it's the moment to find out more. But that's not this moment. This moment, my dog is here looking ridiculous in a fluffy cone and is totally fine. And it was just so weird. It was like being in a different universe. And since then, there have definitely been moments of going into suffering with it. But there has also just been a big sense of, okay, this is what's happening without suffering. And that's just bonkers. So this is a ringing endorsement for Robert Beatty's 5-day retreats. Highly recommended. Best door-to-door Dharma salesman there is. So thank you.
Thank you, Kat. Hey, Kat. You there still?
Yes, of course.
Where did your dog come from?
Texas.
Jennifer said, well, find out where the dog is from, because if it's from Oregon, it's not going to be heartworm. But Texas is one of the hotbeds, so.
Mm-hmm. She's a Southern dog. That's why she's such a lady. She is. She's like the belle of the ball. She just walks in with her dainty feet. She lets my kids put pearls on her. She really thinks she's about to be a debutante.
I see.
She has pink nail polish almost all the time.
Thank you for sharing this important, challenging news with us.
Thank you.
I don't think she really has pink nails.
Oh, she does. She doesn't right this second, but we have dog nail polish, which is much more expensive than human nail polish. And she has pink nails. I will send you pictures on the regular.
Okay.
Robert, this is Ed. I just want to quickly share the beautiful count honorable maintenance of our practice in your absence
Oh, yeah.
and the extraordinary standing forth of each of the teachers who stood in, and how nice it is to see the Dharma communicated from various points of view called the other people, other teachers. So thank you for great coverage of in your absence. And just wanted to let you know, I'm sure you've heard this already, but it really worked well.
Sing me the praises of those who taught. What did you like about it?
I liked hearing what I already know through the lens of others' experience. How Jim shared the Brahma Viharas yesterday so beautifully, how he got them from Gregory, how it all goes in a circle, and we continually acknowledge Sangha is present as us. So embodying Sangha, creating Sangha, and things not working, and then things working, and power of intention.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, I meant to begin my broadcast by thanking the other teachers who sat in not this seat, but sat on this end of the system to keep this all stable and going. They're amazing people, aren't they? Amazing human beings we get to rub shoulders with.
I'd like to comment on the various, let me call them the fine musicians that they are. It felt like, to me, sort of a master symphony coming together.
Huh.
I know how deeply affected I am by the sound of someone's voice. And there are some teachers, as wise as they are, outside of this Sangha, I just can't tolerate the sound of their voices. But this felt like, to me, this collective of just master craftsmen coming together and creating this beautiful symphony. Thank you all.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Wow. Day after day, it was like, oh, now what? Now what? So it was exciting. I look forward to it and was delighted day after day. Thank you all.
Well, that's great. It means I can quit. I'm not. Not yet.
Good morning, Robert. Good morning, Sangha.
It's Jessica.
Hi.
And Michael.
Hi. There he is. I feel like I'm going to be the Debbie Downer, and it has nothing to do with the fine teachers who were wonderful in your absence. It's more about just I have been struggling mightily lately with seeing the homeless, and without going into my spin cycle, I find myself caught in despair. And then I get upset with myself because I think, well, I should be doing more. Why am I not doing something every single day? You know, where's my work ethic around this? And I can find some, kindness towards myself on recognizing what I do, and also in recognizing that I can't get caught up in results, that I can only try and honor the actions. But I'm just spinning. I am, every time I sit up late, I am in misery. And what's hard is that it's really affecting my ability to communicate with friends in town, because there's a part of me that feels so guilty and angry. See, I get worked up here that our city and our community can have thousands of people in such a humanitarian crisis. I just don't get it. And where other issues I can come back and I can just go, okay, this is life. This is dukkha. Boy, I'm just in the deepest agony, and I have been, and it's hard to figure out, how do I climb out of this hole and not continue to do what I can, and it's just feeling really, really constant. So I'm sorry to dump that one, but poor Michael here has been putting up with it, and it's just going on and on and on, and I'm trying to find the off switch, and I'm having a hard time doing it. So thank you.
I don't. I didn't hear Debbie Downer in that, Jessica. I heard open-hearted, sensitive, caring Jessica, who is overwhelmed by what she's seeing and experiencing. I don't think you're alone. I know you're not alone. And I've been wondering what I can do to help that. And there's lots of advice I could give. I'm thinking, I'm not sure quite how to do it. I sure wish COVID would get over. There's some work that Joanna Macy did, a lot of her work, still perhaps she's doing. She called it despair and empowerment work, where we would gather together, create a container, and then open up the despair to just share with each other what's the anguish that's in our hearts. But not to do it alone, not to do it somewhere on the other end of a TV screen, but actually in each other's presence. Stephen Levine was a great master of this. And so to allow the despair to really blossom, and you could do this somewhat on your own, I think, Jessica, to write it down, to dance it, to cry it, to sculpt it in Play-Doh, to really honor that profound anguish that you're feeling. And then, this is where the refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha come in, to I just had an image of a person. There's a thing I did in a workshop with Joanna Macy where we were sharing profoundly our anguish, and in the end we wound up lying on the floor with some pretty heavy music playing. And then I forget how she came around to it, but then the music changed, and then we were invited to be with this saying, I guess. Think about your life story. There's been a lot of hardships. There's been a lot of successes and the overcoming of hardship. And think about how overwhelming this moment is for us, can be. The city is a campground for lots of mentally ill people, for middle-class people who got a serious illness, and lots of people. There's a big lie spreading and an attempt to overturn the government. And it's serious. There's a disease stalking us that is still killing lots of people. And there's almost a sponsored anti-sanity disbelief, disinformation thing happening. And that's just within the country. Then there's all the international stuff. Then there's climate change. It's pretty overwhelming. So we can let ourselves feel a little bit of this, just a little bit of it in. And then remember the refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And consider this. You were born in the exact time and place where you were most needed. You were born into the perfect family to have the wounds that you needed in order to become who you are today. It's been really hard. For some of us, it's been extraordinarily hard. Parents have died. There was intrusion, sexual abuse or violence, abandonment. Consider that that was all exactly what you needed to become who you are today. So it hasn't been mistakes. The hardships haven't been mistakes. They've been required training. In a certain way, gifts of challenge. And so there's a quality of power and capacity and kindness and compassion that you've been developing your whole lifetime. And perhaps it's time. Perhaps it's time to wake up and realize that you have a one-of-a-kind mission in life. And you can't fix the big picture things. But you can stand on your own two Dharma feet and stand up in the middle of the despair and take a deep breath and realize that you are not despair, nor are you anything else that you can put a name on. You are that which knows. We are that which knows, and so we can stand up in the middle of whatever is happening. Feel whatever we need to feel. And realize that in our feeling of that, we are carrying our portion of the cosmic pain. But imagine that you've been sent on this mission and you have a lifetime to complete it. Maybe another few hours, a few weeks, a few days, a few months, a few years. And we do it somewhat in company. And we do it somewhat in isolation, in our own hearts. But we don't abandon our hearts. I just remembered something I want to read. This is from Clarissa Pincola Estes. It's a little long, a couple of pages. My friends, my friend Jessica, do not lose heart. We were made for these times. I have heard from so many recently who are deeply and properly bewildered. They are concerned about the state of affairs in our world right now. Ours is a time of almost daily astonishment and often righteous rage over the latest degradations of what matters most to civilized, visionary people. You are right in your assessments. The luster and hubris some have aspired to while endorsing acts so heinous against children, elders, everyday people, the poor, the unguarded, the helpless, is breathtaking. Yet I urge you, ask you, gentle you, to please not spend your spirit dry while bewailing these difficult times. Especially do not lose hope, most particularly because the fact is that we were made for these times. Yes, for years we have been learning, practicing, being in training for, and just waiting to meet on this exact plane of engagement. I grew up on the Great Lakes and recognize a seaworthy vessel when I see one. Regarding awakening souls, there have never been more able vessels in the waters than there are right now across the world. And they are fully provisioned and able to signal one another as never before in the history of humankind. Look out over the prow. There are millions of boats of righteous souls on the waters with you. Even though your veneers may shiver from every wave in this stormy royal, I assure you that the long timbers composing your prow and rudder come from a greater forest. That long-grained lumber is known to withstand storms, to hold together, to hold its own, and to advance regardless. In any dark time, there is a tendency to veer toward fainting over how much is wrong or unmended in the world. Do not focus on that. There is a tendency, too, to fall into being weakened by dwelling on what is outside your reach, by what cannot yet be. Do not focus there. That is spending the wind without raising the sails. We are needed. That is all we can know. And though we meet resistance, we more so will meet great souls who will hail us, love us, and guide us, and we will know them when they appear. Didn't you say you were a believer? Didn't you say you pledged to listen to a greater voice? Didn't you ask for grace? Don't you remember that to be in grace means to submit to the voice greater? Ours is not the task of fixing the entire world all at once, but of stretching out to mend the part of the world that is within our reach. Any small, calm thing that one soul can do to help another soul, to assist some portion of this poor, suffering world, will help immensely. It is not given to us to know which acts or by whom will cause the critical mass to tip toward the enduring good. What is needed for dramatic change is an accumulation of acts. Adding more, continuing. We know that it does not take, quote, everyone on earth to bring justice and peace, but only a small, determined group who will not give up during the first, second, or 100th gale. One of the most calming and powerful actions you can do to intervene in a stormy world is to stand up and show your heart. Heart on deck shines like gold in dark times. The light of the heart throws sparks, can send up flares, builds signal fires, causes proper matters to catch fire. To display the lantern of heart in shadowy times like these, to be fierce and to show mercy towards others, both are acts of immense bravery and greatest necessity. Struggling hearts catch light from other hearts who are fully lit and willing to show it. It would help to, if you would help to calm the tumult, this is one of the strongest things you can do. There will always be times when you will feel discouraged. I too have felt despair many times in my life, but I do not keep a chair for it. I will not entertain it. It is not allowed to eat from my plate. The reason is this. In my utmost bones, I know something, as do you. It is that there can be no despair when you remember why you came to earth, who you serve, and who sent you here. The good words we say and the good deeds we do are not ours. They are the words and deeds of the one who brought us here. In that spirit, I hope you will write this on your wall. When a great ship is in harbor and moored, it is safe, there can be no doubt. But that is not what great ships are built for. I hope you will write this on your wall. When a great ship is in harbor and moored, it is safe. There can be no doubt. But that is not what great ships are built for. This comes with much love and a prayer that you remember who you came from and why you came to this beautiful, needful earth. Clarissa Pinkola Estes. I'll put that in my blog, robertbeatty.com/blog.
Thank you so much. That's huge. And I hope it helps others too. Thank you.
Hi, Robert. It's Joy.
Hi, Joy.
Hi. So we had some great teachings while you were away. And one thing Jim said on Friday in something he read was that we shouldn't cocoon ourselves, wrap ourselves in our happy dharma or life away from all that suffering and struggling. So I'm still thinking about that. And what I find with the teaching is if it's very clear, then it removes my doubts. That one of the 5 hindrances is doubt. After I had a very religious upbringing, I started to doubt all religions. But the ideas of this teaching can be so logical and indisputable that my doubt is removed. And I'm grateful to the teachers for being so clear. So, and then just the last thing I wanted to ask is whether you managed to get to the pond at Hollyhock and see the Buddha there.
I did. Lovely.
It is a beautiful place.
A lovely spot. Yep. Well chosen.
Thanks.
It was kind of wet when I was there.
It's very wet.
It's a wet spot.
It's a rainforest, so
It is odd, huh? Yeah.
rainforest rains. So thank you for coming back, and also for the teachers. I think we had some really helpful and profound teachings, and we'll continue to have that. Thank you.
One of the things that captured me when I ran into these teachings in India 50 years ago was that there was nothing to believe. This is not a religion. It's a path. And on that first retreat, I heard the story, classic story of the Buddha traveling among the Kalamas in a village named Kesaputta. And he entered the village, and the people said, "Why should we listen to you? We get a holy man through here once every 2 weeks, and they always disparage each other. And why should we believe you?" And the Buddha's response was elegant, I think. He said, "By all means, do not believe me. But don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Listen, try it, and see, in fact, does it lead to a reduction in your greed and hatred and ignorance? Does it result in a reduction of your suffering? Does it result in the reduction of your suffering of your loved ones? In fact, does it conduce, that's the word I like in the translation, does it conduce toward the reduction of the suffering in all beings? If it fulfills these criteria, then follow the path. But it's really not, believe me, this is the truth. And there's nothing to believe. At first, it takes a little blind faith to be willing, well, I'll try it. I'll see if it's true.
Yeah.
But then it becomes more, as we realize it, as we drop into it, we become more and more of the truth of it. And then there's no question. It's like, yep, this is true. So there's nothing to believe. Believe me about that.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate the clarity, and I'm glad I don't have to believe that invisible beings are interested in my thoughts and actions, as I was trained to do.
Yeah, that gets a little hard, doesn't it, at times?
Yeah, like where are they? Oh well.
Well, they're up in the corner of the room if you only had eyes to see.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That was
Thanks,
really
Joyce.
helpful. Really helpful.
Well, shall we head off into our day, my friends? Anybody sitting with something else that you'd like to throw in the pot? It's raining. Oh, my water catchment system is full. We have 300 gallons of rainwater, and I mean, it's ridiculous. We could probably have 10,000 gallons of rainwater after a few weeks. The water just pours out of the downspouts. It would fill those tanks in an hour or two. So I actually have to figure out, I stick a hose on it, I think. I have to figure out a way to get the water that's now pouring out right by the foundation instead of down the where it was designed to go into the city water system. I'm going to take it out onto the lawn. Wouldn't that be great to oh dear, to have 300 gallons of rainwater and a foundation which is completely undermined by the overrunning water? I think that would be a bad trade-off.
You'd run a hose to California.
Right? Yeah. So anything from you, my friends. Well, let's go out on Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. May all beings receive all blessings. And, oh, hang on. This is not what I want to do. Put this back in here. Ready?
Yeah.
Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Happy trails, dear friends. See you tomorrow. Thanks for coming this morning. Bye-bye. Goodbye, friends.